Hello and welcome to another video from me, boots on the ground, and today we are in beautiful Grassington on a Scorchio day. So if you'd like to join me on this journey, you're more than welcome. Now unfortunately for us, it is the 1940s recreation weekend here at Grassington, so a lot of the areas on this main path are quite touristy and quite busy today. But we're going to be heading up towards Green Forest, and from there we're going to head up on the moors and do a wild camp. And in the meantime, we're going to be trying to find a good water source in order for us to be able to try the holy grail of water filters. So welcome to the channel. Let's get going. Hawthorn. Remember as a kid you used to crush these up and make itching powder out of them. You can, I think they're called rose hips, you can make tea out of them. Maybe in another episode we'll look into this and start doing some actual bushcraft. These are beautiful. Actually reminds me a lot of Christmas. I know Christmas is a far away, but in reality it's not that far away at all. Now I'm not sure whether these are actually edible, and part of my coming out here onto the moors and doing these trips is I want to learn a lot more about nature. So if you know what these particular berries are on this tree, do let me know. I certainly won't be eating them until I've done a little bit of research. Well, we haven't had that many wild camps on our tour on this channel, on this adventure. One of the things that I have learnt was that water bottles can get rather heavy. And on the first time we went out on Ilkley Moor, I took 3 large flasks and the water was heavy. And believe it or not, I actually ran out when it came to the food as well. So I invested in the holy grail of water filters, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to get some water from this river and we're going to drink from it and even cook from it. Just look at that. A river full of Yorkshire tea. Oh, it's tea alright. You can see by the colour. Yorkshire tea in the Yorkshire Wharf. Cracking. If, like me, the thought of drinking from a dirty canal or stream puts a little bit of fear into you, I completely and utterly understand, because I felt the same. But having looked at some videos on YouTube of a lot more experienced people out there, from campers and bushcraft people, this is the holy grail of water filters. And there are other brands and other makes out there, but today we're just going to talk about this one. Supposedly this has got a 0.1 micron filter system in it, which means that virus, bugs, pathogens, you name it, it's not going to get through. I'm not quite sure how it works, but this is going to be the very first time that I've taken stream water. Or behind me, as you can see, the River Wharf water here, which I should hope is a little bit cleaner than a canal. So let's dip this thing in and I shall show you how it works. So here we have the grail. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this top off, put that somewhere where we don't get it covered in dirty water, and then we're going to take the inner tube out here. So this is what we're going to fill up with flowing water. There we go. And there is a mark on the side of this somewhere. If we just tip it out, there it is. That is the mark that we're supposed to go up to. So let's just fill that up. Pour a little bit out. I think that's almost there. And then what we do is we push the filter in. We're going to release the cap on the top. Now we're going to push down both sides. Oh, using your body weight. There we go. We can now, in theory, Open this up and drink it. Here's to the river wharf water. Tastes beautiful. It's good. We're heading now into the green forest, and just outside this path as this leads up, it's really quite hot even though the time is still nearly 4:30. But as soon as you get into a little bit of the shade from the forest, it becomes extremely cool. It's really, oh, it's so nice to be in here. As you noticed on that sign as we came in, there is no camping because this is a nature reserve. And I'm going to abide by that. I'm not going to be breaking the law here with it being a nature reserve, because I think even if you do a wild camp, if you got caught in a place like this, you're probably going to get more than a slap on the wrist. So what the plan is now is we're going to move through the woods, follow the path out onto the moors and away from the nature reserve. I don't know what it is about moss. A few other people who've done backpacking and wild camping and hiking seem to think that there's such a beautiful thing about moss. I think it's the colour. Out, obviously in the forest everything's green, but this moss is just, it's almost like a microforest in itself. I really do love moss, and if you get up close, I won't be able to with this camera, but hopefully if I can get a few pounds later on, I'll get a better camera and we can start actually looking and enjoying some of the nature that we actually see out here in the woods. We've actually gone off and away now from the GPS route, and I find myself in the middle of nowhere. Am I lost? I'm not quite lost, but I've still got at least an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours before last light. So I'm just following this kind of an old footpath that I've seen and hoping that it brings us out of the woods. These are not hazelnuts. What are these? If you know what these are, let me know, because I wonder, as part of bushcraft, whether these would actually be edible. Because as with all things in bushcraft, you don't eat anything or put anything in your mouth you're not 100% sure of. You shall not pass! Well, actually, you can't, 'cause it's right away. Well, I've actually decided I'm going to turn back and head down to the river. I won't be staying out on the moors or indeed here in the woods tonight, and the reason for that, well, I'll tell you what, let's get down to the river because I'm absolutely parched and I need a cup of Yorkshire tea. When I'm down there, we can discuss it. Come on, what are you waiting for? I want a brew. Come on. Now this is a shemag, and I've actually done a few videos on these and about 50, well actually about 20 different ways to actually wear a shemag. The insects keep biting the back of my neck because I'm really juicy. So we're going to take corner to corner here. We're just going to roll it round like so to get this round the back of your neck. Now the top one goes over and then under. So there we go. This one goes under. And when you bring it round to the back or wherever it fits, it goes over. Did I say over? Basically, one goes over and one goes under. And that way, it should stay around your neck and stop the midges biting. If any of the wild bushcrafters out there, or even hikers or campers out there, I'd like a little bit of advice, because I really want to get into the bushcraft, but every sort of wooded area that I come to, there are signs up saying no camping, or there are fines and things like that. So where is it in these woods that you can actually go in order to be able to make a fire, build a basic shelter and learn about being outdoors and bushcraft? Now there are some courses by Ray Mears which I've inquired about, but are fully booked up of course. But I will be doing some orienteering and navigational courses at the back end of this month, and I probably will take the camera with me, and what I learn you can learn. So if you've got any advice out there on where the best places is that you can actually go in order to learn and then go and experience these things for yourself, then that would be really handy, even if the offer was there to go with somebody else. So I said that I would discuss with you why I decided not to stay out tonight. I've got all the gear with me, it's a beautiful day, the weather is on our side. Well, this is a learning lesson when it comes not only for myself but for you as a wild camper as well if you're learning. I did a little bit of preparation with a satellite navigation system that was available on Google, not Google Maps, something that was similar. And I plotted my route today, so I knew that it would probably be about 4 to 5 miles out, and I wanted to come back 5, so 10 basically. What it didn't show me on there was that that area up there in that green wood is actually kind of part of the National Trust and part of a nature reserve, and you can't camp in there and you can't do the fire stuff which I wanted to do. I wanted to do some actual bushcraft that I've been learning and looking at on YouTube. You can't do any of that because you're going to get yourself into some serious trouble. Now I've got dry sacks up there which I can fill with river water, and they will carry the water, so if I was to have a fire, that would be near the fire in case there was any chance of the flame moving or catching fire to anything else. I would create a proper fire pit, and I would make sure that that fire wasn't unattended and was thoroughly put out before I called it a night. But other people who don't care about nature or the forest or the woods as much as we do probably wouldn't take that into account and probably wouldn't do that, and that's why the people who own these areas are probably going to come down on you like a 10-ton hammer if they catch you out in there. Not feeling it today. I knew as soon as I'd set off down to Linton Locks on the way up here, I just wasn't feeling the vibe in wanting to stay out. It's a weird thing because I was really looking forward to it when I got in the car, and I know a lot of other wild campers have talked about this.
that feeling of either something inside is telling you that you should leave or go back, or today's just not your day. I'm really tired today. Maybe we're not having the cap on, maybe the sun has got to me a little bit, and maybe that's why essentially I'm quite tired. Number 3, well, I think in essence the reason that I enjoyed Ilkley so much was because I know the area really, really well, and if I get myself into trouble with anything, it's quite easy to get myself out. Having headed up into the Green Woods here, there are so many intersection paths through there, it's like an absolute maze, and the GPS did eventually get me through there, but if you're not keeping an eye on the GPS constantly, it takes you away from the path and you end up having to backtrack, which is really frustrating when you're hot and tired. And the last reason kind of is, I didn't know once we got up onto the moors whereabouts I was going to go. Now you could say that's part of bushcraft. That's part of the wilderness, that's part of wild camping, not knowing where you're going to stay. But for me personally, I wanted to know if I kept on pushing through those woods, would I actually get out onto the moors, and would it be viable for me to stay out there without it being on farmland or me getting into trouble, or would it be far enough away from suburbia? So in essence, again, I think this comes down to more research and a little bit more learning. And I think I've done the right decision. If my heart's not in it today, then the right thing is to leave. But I've absolutely enjoyed today. It's got me out of the house. I'm a single lad at 47, and these dating apps are just not for me.
Just think of the history of this tree, and you know, the amount of lifetimes that people have walked past this tree, and now it's just dead. Kind of sums up life, really. Well, I'm back at the car now. Well, almost back in Grassington. Hopefully I can get back to the car. If you've been to Grassington, or you've experienced this place, and you've been up on the moors, or you've got any suggestions on where I could actually go to do a wild camp, then please let me know. If you'd like to give me a couple of quid on a Patreon, it'll help me pay for better camera equipment and give me a little bit more of an incentive to be able to create better quality videos. I'm only really using an action cam here. I know I don't really have enough subscribers, and people are probably going to think, yeah, well, we'll give them a couple of quid and then he'll disappear. But that's not the case. I'm actually really enjoying doing these videos. I just need, I think, a bit more experience under my belt before I start to get into the more interesting aspects that I'm sure a lot of you out there will enjoy. So I've been boots on the ground here in the UK. Whew, I'm really tired today. Thanks for watching, subscribing, thumbs up, and if you've got any questions or feedback, leave them in that box below, and I shall see you in another video coming real soon. Bye bye.